Right now, somewhere in America, perhaps just a few miles from where you're sitting, a legend is quietly rotting away. It's tucked behind a row of lease-return Silverados at a small-town dealership, or sitting under a thick layer of dust in the back of a buy-here, pay-here lot. These are the SUVs that built the American suburbs. They're the steel-bodied monsters that hauled boats to the lake and took entire families across state lines without breaking a sweat. Today, most people drive past them without a second look. Dealers treat them like trade-in fodder, often pricing them just to get them off the books. Grandpas still drive them to the hardware store, completely unaware that the analog world they represent is becoming the new gold standard for collectors. But the winds are shifting. Millennials are waking up to the fact that modern SUVs, with their plastic engine covers, invasive touchscreens, and fragile transmissions, can't compete with the raw mechanical soul of the 1990s. The window to buy these for beater prices is slamming shut. One SUV on this list is already starting to climb the charts at major auctions. One has a bulletproof engine known to go 400,000 miles with little more than oil changes and prayer. One was built like a literal tank and will never, ever be made again. And number one? Number one is the most overlooked and dangerous sleeper investment in the American market today. If you find a clean one now, you aren't just buying a vehicle, you're securing a piece of history that is about to explode in value. Let's start with number 7 and work our way to the one nobody is talking about. Number 7, the 1997 to 2001 Ford Expedition. We begin at a quiet Ford dealership in a rural county. It's 100 degrees out and the asphalt is radiating heat. Parked near the service bay is a massive forest green beast with tan pinstripes. It was owned by one person, a retired school principal who kept every single service record in a manila folder in the glove box. The paint on the roof is just starting to fade, but the frame is solid as a bridge. This is the first-generation Ford Expedition. When it launched in late 1996, it was Ford's answer to the Chevy Tahoe, and it didn't just compete, it dominated. While the iconic Bronco was being phased out, the Expedition stepped in with 4 doors and a massive presence. We're focusing specifically on the early models equipped with the 2-valve 5.4-liter Triton V8. Now, here is what nobody tells you. Many people fear the Triton name because of the later 3-valve engines that had cam phaser issues and spark plug drama. But these early 2-valve versions, they're absolute workhorses. This was a body-on-frame monster built on the proven F-150 platform of the era. It's simple, it's heavy, and it offers a commanding view of the road that modern soft roaders can't replicate. For a long time, these were just seen as old Fords. People saw the fuel economy and ran the other way. They were overshadowed by the smaller Explorer and the later, more troubled Expeditions. Because Ford sold so many of them, they became invisible. They were the background noise of the American driveway. But collectors are realizing that the overbuilt era of Ford ended shortly after this generation. Finding one with the Eddie Bauer leather interior intact, where the leather actually feels like hide and not synthetic vinyl, is becoming a hunt. As the overlanding community looks for cheap, reliable platforms with massive towing capacity, the 5.4-liter Expedition is the perfect candidate. It's the last of the simple big Fords. But if you think that's undervalued, wait until you see number 6. Number 6, the 1991 to 1994 Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer Edition. Picture the sun hitting a two-tone paint job, deep forest green over tan. It's sitting at a tiny used car lot next to a derelict gas station. The for sale sign in the window is handwritten and yellowed. You open the door, and that specific 90s Ford scent hits you, a mix of high-quality cloth and rugged plastic. This is the vehicle that changed the world. Before the Explorer, SUVs were for farmers and off-roaders. The Explorer made them for everyone. The early Eddie Bauer editions, with their sophisticated color palettes and luxury-leaning interiors, were the ultimate status symbols of the early 90s. This was the vehicle of Jurassic Park. This was the vehicle that sat in every country club parking lot in 1992. Under the hood is the 4.0-liter Cologne V6, an engine that isn't fast but is remarkably durable. Its twin I-beam front suspension makes it a tank off-road, and its boxy, honest proportions look better every year. The Explorer suffered from a major controversy years ago involving tires, which tarnished its image for a decade. Furthermore, they were used and abused as family haulers until they fell apart. Most ended up in scrap heaps. But nostalgia is a powerful drug. The kids who sat in the back seat of these on the way to soccer practice are now in their 30s and 40s. They want that analog feel back. They want the push-button four-wheel drive and the tactile click of the dash clock. Finding a first-gen Explorer that hasn't been rusted out or modified is becoming nearly impossible. When the market realizes these are the classic Range Rovers of America, prices will double overnight. And speaking of rugged luxury, the next SUV on this list makes this one look mainstream.
Number 5. The 1993 to 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee ZJ. Imagine a suburban driveway in the Midwest. An elderly man is hosing down a charcoal gray Jeep. It's not a Wrangler, it's something sleeker, lower, but with a V8 badge on the grille that hints at something sinister. This is the ZJ Grand Cherokee, and we are focusing specifically on the 5.2-liter Magnum V8. The ZJ was a revolution. It was a unibody SUV that could still outcrawl almost anything on the trail. While most people went for the legendary inline six, the smart money was and is on the Magnum V8. This engine is a masterpiece of old-school Mopar engineering. It's got the torque to pull a house off its foundation and a cold start growl that reminds you this is a serious machine. The interior, especially in the limited trim, featured some of the most comfortable leather seats ever put in an American vehicle. They felt more like your grandfather's favorite armchair than a car seat. Jeep people usually gravitate toward the XJ Cherokee or the Wrangler. The Grand Cherokee was often dismissed as the mall crawler. It was also plagued by minor electrical gremlins that scared off the faint of heart. But here's the part collectors understand. The ZJ is the Goldilocks of Jeeps. It's more comfortable than an XJ, but more capable than almost anything that followed it. As XJ prices skyrocket into the $20,000 range for clean examples, the ZJ is the natural next step. The 5.2-liter V8 is the heart of the beast, and collectors are starting to snap up the Orvis and limited editions. Dealers haven't caught on yet, but that window is closing fast. Number 4. The 1998 to 2000 Dodge Durango SLT 5.9-liter. Next, we find ourselves at the very back of a Chrysler Dodge Jeep lot. There's a vehicle looking aggressive and squat, painted in a deep flame red. It doesn't look like a mom mobile. It looks like a truck that wants to pick a fight. This is the Dodge Durango SLT with the massive 5.9-liter engine. To understand the Durango, you have to remember what else was happening in the mid-90s. Chevrolet was killing it with the Impala SS, a big, mean V8-powered sedan that proved people still wanted muscle. People wanted that same muscle car attitude in an SUV, and Dodge delivered. While others were downsizing, Dodge stuffed the 360 cubic inch Magnum V8 into this frame. It was effectively a muscle car with 3 rows of seats and 4-wheel drive. The Durango had a reputation for being thirsty, which it absolutely is. It was also built during a period where Chrysler's interior plastics weren't the best. People overlooked them as disposable family cars. But this is where things get interesting. This is the precursor to the SRT Durango and the modern Trackhawk. It's the original hot rod SUV. With the 5.9 Magnum, it has a cult following among Mopar enthusiasts. Clean, one-owner Durangos are becoming the barn finds of the 2020s. Displacement matters, and 360 cubic inches in a mid-size SUV is a recipe for a future classic that will never be replicated in the era of electric motors. Before we get to number 3, here's what nobody tells you. We are entering the last call of analog V8s. Once these survivors are gone, they're gone forever. If you're enjoying this list, hit the like button because these SUVs won't stay cheap forever, and we're here to make sure you're ahead of the curve. Number 3, the 1992 to 1999 GMC Suburban. GMT400. Think of an endless stretch of highway in West Texas. The sun is setting, and a massive white GMC is effortlessly cruising at 80 miles per hour, pulling a horse trailer. It's been doing this for 30 years. It looks indestructible. This is the GMT400 Suburban. This platform is arguably the greatest truck architecture General Motors ever produced, and the Suburban was its crowning achievement. We're talking about the 3/4-ton 2500 series, often found with the 7.4-liter 454 big block or the incredibly reliable 5.7-liter Vortec. This wasn't an SUV, it was a private jet for the road. With the iconic barn doors in the back, enough room for 9 adults, and a build quality that feels like it was machined from a single block of iron, the 90s Suburban is the peak of American utility. They're currently undervalued because they're everywhere, or at least they were. People think they can always find another one, so they don't value the ones they see. Dealers see them as high-mileage headaches, but here's the part collectors understand. The grandpa original owners are finally letting these go. These are the trucks that go 400,000 miles. As modern trucks become impossibly expensive and overly complex, the simplicity of a GMT400 Suburban is becoming a luxury. The overlanding crowd is already starting to bid these up. If you find a clean GMC variant, especially a 2500, buy it and hide it. Number 2. The 1996 to 2000 Chevrolet Tahoe two-door version. Picture a beach town in South Carolina. A black-on-black Chevy Tahoe pulls up to a stoplight. It's shorter than you expect. It only has 2 doors. It looks athletic, muscular, and perfectly proportioned. Everyone is staring. This is the 2-door Tahoe, and it is a masterpiece of design. The 2-door version is the spiritual successor to the K5 Blazer. Built on the same GMT400 platform as the Suburban, but with a shortened wheelbase, it offered the perfect blend of off-road agility and V8 power. Equipped with the 5.7-liter Vortec V8, these trucks are punchy and fun to drive. The interior is pure 90s Chevy, plush, ergonomic, and nostalgic. For years, people wanted the practicality of 4 doors. The 2-door was seen as a niche vehicle for people without kids. They were often beaten up by off-roaders or modified poorly. But check the auctions. The 2-door Tahoe and its GMC Yukon twin are the it trucks of the moment. They have that cool factor that a 4-door simply can't match. They represent the last time Chevrolet built a short wheelbase full-size SUV. Dealers still occasionally list these as old Tahoes without realizing they're sitting on a $25,000 unicorn. This leads to the big one, the one that redefined the entire industry, the one that dealers are still treating like a used car, while collectors are starting to whisper its name. Number 1. The 1996 to 2000 Cadillac Escalade. Imagine nighttime in a major city circa 1999. A black SUV rolls up to a red carpet. The chrome grille catches the street lights. It's boxy, it's intimidating, and it says success in a way no other vehicle could. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was a cultural shift. This was the first-generation Cadillac Escalade. To the untrained eye, it's just a fancy Chevy Tahoe, but to those who know, this was the birth of a luxury dynasty. Launched in a hurry to respond to the Lincoln Navigator, the first-gen Escalade took the rock-solid GMT400 platform and draped it in Cadillac prestige. It featured unique front-end styling, incredibly plush perforated leather seats, Zebrano wood trim, and a Bose sound system that was world-class for its time. Under the hood was the legendary 5.7-liter Vortec V8, the same engine collectors love for reliability and ease of maintenance. Why is it undervalued is because people dismissed it as a rebadged Yukon Denali. Because it was only produced for 2 model years, 1999 and 2000, is often forgotten in favor of the more flashy second-generation model. Dealers often price these the same as a high-mileage Tahoe, failing to see the historical significance. But here's the truth. The first-gen Escalade is the last of the analog Cadillac SUVs. It has the classic boxy 90s aesthetic that is currently exploding in popularity. It represents the hip-hop era, the Sopranos era,
and a time when Cadillac build quality still felt substantial and heavy. Clean examples are vanishing into private collections. It is a cultural icon that is currently hiding in plain sight on used car lots across the country. This is the ultimate sleeper investment. It is comfortable, it is powerful, and it is the last of its kind. Once the market realizes how few of these are left in original condition, the price spike will be legendary. Dealers haven't caught on yet. They see an old Cadillac. You should see a blue chip investment. They're still out there, but not for long. The market is moving. The plastic era of cars has made us realize just how good we had it in the 90s. The smartest buyers move before the market notices. They buy the truck that everyone else is overlooking. So I have to ask, which one would you buy? Would you take the muscle of the Durango, the sheer scale of the Suburban, or are you hunting for that first-gen Escalade? Did we miss one that's still sitting cheap in your town? Let us know in the comments. We read every single one. And if you're looking for your next classic, keep your eyes open. The best deals are the ones everyone else is driving past. The smartest buyers move before the market notices.